Hey everybody, it's Joyce Luck here from Black Hair Compass, and today I'm here to do a quick video on the difference between breakage and shedding. I've actually gotten a couple of people send me requests to kind of go over what the difference is between the two, because I mean, you can say just about anywhere that people kind of use those two terms interchangeably, but really they mean different things. We can say on a very basic level, the difference between shedding and breakage is that one is a natural process that occurs no matter what you do, and the other one is not natural and is usually the result of things that we're doing to our hair. So shedding is something that happens all on its own, and breakage is something that's usually a result of what we're doing, some bad things that we're doing and that are causing our hair to break off. So I guess to better understand what shedding actually means, every single strand on your head has a finite life cycle. And what that means is that from the time that it's not even visible, but it's in your scalp and growing, it'll go through an amount of time where it will grow and grow and grow and grow, and that's where it's active in its life cycle. And there will come a time where it will just stop growing and may plateau, and then your body will just decide to release that hair strand. And that would be the natural process of shedding. There's not really much you can do to change that, and it's really not something that you should seek to change, because like I said before, it's a natural process and it's going to happen on its own. One way you can tell if the hair that's in your hairbrush is due to natural shedding is if you take this hair strand and you look at one end, you should see a black, or whatever color your hair is, black or blunt end, and then on the other side, if you look very, very closely, you'll kind of see this little tiny white bulb. If you can see that white bulb visible, what that means is that the hair that you're looking at has naturally been shed. That bulb was at one point implanted into your scalp, and like I said before, your body just decided it was time to release it, so it released the entire hair strand, including that little white bulb at the end. My experiences with shedding, I think that all of us experience shedding. That's kind of what you see anytime you detangle your hair. I don't think I can make a statement on what is a normal amount of shedding and what isn't. That's going to vary from person to person. But over time, if you start to kind of see a pattern and you're losing or shedding the same amount of hair over time, you can probably rest assured that that's just probably your normal shed rate. So with breakage, I kind of mentioned before that it's not something that's natural. Usually it's due to mishandling of the hair, abuse of the hair, and after a while your hair will just simply give up and it'll break. It's kind of hard to figure out exactly what causes breakage because there are so many different factors that can play into causing your hair to break, but some of the more popular ones are if you're not keeping your hair moisturized. If your hair becomes dehydrated to the point that it's really dry and brittle, it can get so dry and brittle that it becomes so fragile that it'll break. So moisture or lack thereof is one of the reasons that you can experience breakage. Another is that your styling is too tight. Have you ever seen people whose hair is so tight where they pull it back so tight? Tension is another one of those popular things that causes hair breakage. That would be kind of a type of abuse of your hair where you're pulling it so tight that it's actually just breaking apart. Another reason for some breakage, not all, could be the application of chemicals to your hair. Sometimes people experience a lot of hair breakage after they dye their hair, after they apply relaxers or texturizers to their hair, or perms. Those kind of chemicals are really, really harsh, and if you don't take the appropriate steps after you've applied those kind of chemicals to your hair, it can weaken your hair to the point of breakage. I guess for some personal experiences that I've had with breakage, I can say that I experienced a lot of breakage while I had a relaxer, and that's not to knock relaxers, because you can have a relaxer and experience very little to maybe even no breakage if you're taking the appropriate steps. But at that point in time, I wasn't as knowledgeable about hair care, so the relaxer and my lack of care for my hair was causing my hair to break. Every time that I would wash my hair, I would then follow it up with blow drying and flat ironing, and that whole process of the blow drying and flat ironing, I would lose a lot of hair. I used to say I would shed a lot, but again, that's incorrect usage. My hair would break a lot during that process. Another time that I had some hair breakage was actually after I went natural, and it was due to tension. Remember before I mentioned that excessive tension can cause breakage in hair. For a while when my hair was really, really short, in the TWA, teeny weeny afro phase, I would always wear my hair in a puff, and instead of just taking a headband like this and pulling it around and just leaving it like that, sometimes I would take one that was cut in half and it would just be a long string, and I'd tie it around my hair and then have a little knot here and tighten it this way. Oftentimes little pieces of hair at the front of my face would get caught in that knot, and over time that tension of getting caught in that knot would cause it to break. So I had hair that was all the same length all over, but right at the front it would break and be really short hair because it always get tangled in that knot. So that's another thing, you got to be careful on the styles that you're using and pay attention to see if that's actually what's causing your breakage, because in instances like that, that's an easy fix and you don't need to go through that. So again, breakage is probably something that you can have control over and do your due diligence to stop. Shedding, on the other hand, is not something that you're really going to be able to stop because it is a natural process. I hope that this answered some of the questions that you guys sent me and that you understand what the difference between shedding and breakage is, and you can kind of help other people understand it too. Thumbs up this video if you liked it, and let me know, what have been your experiences with shedding and breakage? Has there been any particular styles that's caused you to get more and more breakage, kind of like that high puff was doing for me? Or are you guys still figuring out what your normal amount of shedding is and what that looks like? But either way, leave me some messages in the comments below, and until next time.